It's the Brad and John Show.
It is the Brad and John Show. Today's date is 7/11. Yes, it's July 11th, 2025. This is the C Block, the Charlie Block. Why do I mention that? Because of the fact that we actually do the show live for people who are listening on our streaming channel or on KSOQ. When you're driving along and 1 minute you're listening to us, the next second you're listening to the God people at KFUO, and then the next minute you're listening to us. And as John says, what happens on your RDS display on your radio? What happens, John?
It will say, Mighty God, everlasting Father, gutter duck. Just think this morning, Brad, in A Block, people were driving and they were hearing back and forth between some good organ music and then me say, let's touch on Josh Hawley.
If it wasn't so frustrating to me, I wouldn't be laughing. But, okay, here's the problem I have, John. I can't find your intro for this part of the show. I could find this one.
What would you do with a brain if you had one?
I can find this one.
Some of these protesters hold up signs proclaiming gays for Gaza. They might as well hold up signs saying chickens for KFC.
I can find this one.
Bing, bong, bing.
Bing, bing, bong, bong, bing, bing.
I can find this one.
I like my donuts so fat their holes are closed.
Yes, I can find all those things, but I can't find... What would John do?
What would John do? Well, we can visualize it.
What would John do?
Yeah, we could hear it in our ears.
What would John do?
What would John do? It's for folks who don't know. Brad, you started this probably 4 or 5 months ago. What would I do about a situation? Brad, you have a tendency sometimes to, I think it'd be fair to say, you have some mental, you have some hang-ups here and there, and sometimes you ask for my opinion on what you should do.
John has alluded to the fact that when I get off the air that I go into one of the air-conditioned studios and I bring out my bottle of Maker's Mark and I get my little package of bonbons and I just throw back some whiskey and eat bonbons and do nothing all day. When in fact, I'm trying to be, I am. I am Joe's sales guy. I'm trying to generate revenue for this radio station and other radio stations as well as our websites and stuff like that. Okay, little background here. I have a client who has not been on the air with us for a long time. And if I say too much, I'll give away this person because I do not want to publicly embarrass them. Actually, I do, but that's a whole other story. So this is a third-generation company. I'm dealing with the third generation who's now running the company. And I used to deal with the second generation. And interestingly enough, John, this is formerly a no-co business. It used to be in North County. Matter of fact, on my way to school, I won't say where I was driving on the bus, but on the way to school, I would pass by this business every single day. On my way to Hazelwood High School, on my way home, I would pass by this business, okay?
Wow. Okay, so you're saying that you have a long-established relationship. This company has been a part of your life for a long time. And these folks used to advertise, and they stopped advertising how long ago?
Well, because of the generational shift, okay? And this is sort of interesting. But okay, here's the story behind it. Now, what's interesting behind it is this particular person I have seen at many events. Matter of fact, in one event, I used to do this because I'm a photography geek. I would take my good camera, and I love taking candid shots of people. And matter of fact, I just got a new lens for my one camera. I got a zoom 400 to 400 zoom. I can sit across the room and take candid shots of people like I'm sitting next to them, okay? And this particular instance, I did this at an event I was at where this father-son duo was present, and I took some nice pictures, and I had them printed back in the day when you could actually have pictures printed. I had some 8x10s
You went
printed.
to Creve Coeur Camera or something, right?
I can't remember where I got them printed because
or Fox Photo.
I know, not Fox Photo, but I had some labs I dealt with. This was like professional stuff. And I gave these pictures to these people, and they were most appreciative. Okay, so flashback to yesterday when I've got a system. I use what's called a CRM, customer relation management software, where, I put people in and sometimes I say, okay, email this person, or perfect
in
example.
a month. We'll give them a month to think about it, and it's a tickle file, and we'll follow up with them in a month.
Exactly. And there's two main portions of this. One is current clients that are on the air, just following up with them. I have a client that's run with us for years. I'm very appreciative of that, Bank of Washington, and every month I send the lady I deal with, hey, hey, just wanted to make sure any copy updates. And sometimes she says yes, sometimes she says no. Sometimes in the middle of the month, she sends me new copy. Great. We have a great relationship. Been going like that for years, okay? The people who are not on the air with us, it's typically every month to 6 weeks. It's not like I'm calling them, hey, I called you yesterday, I'm calling you today, okay?
Yeah, you're not a pushy salesman, right? You're following up with them.
And it's like you said, the tickle file, the touch. I'm touching them, so many touches, because if you read all the sales stuff, they talk about that if you're in sales, the average sales is closed somewhere between the 6th and the 8th touch. And that's not like the John Combest kind of touches, which we talked about in the A block, where he wants to touch on Josh Hawley.
So yesterday, what was the interaction like yesterday, Brad?
I called this person and left a voicemail like I normally do. I mean, only in the course of 2 years, this person has responded to me once. And the crazy part of this is there's a component that if I go too far to this, people will know exactly who I'm talking about. And I don't want to do that. But there's a component of this is that him and I have a same dislike for a certain two people. Okay, let's leave it at that. Okay, a certain two people who, in my eyes,
that you would say ruined an entire town. Go ahead.
Yeah.
I get it. Yeah. So anyway,
you're getting a little bit.
You left a message for TF, and what happened?
I got a text message back, and I'm gonna read you the text message. Ready, John? So this is.
I'm ready. Yeah.
What would John do? What would John do? Okay, Brad. This is the last time I'm going to tell you this. I do not make the marketing decisions. I passed your number to them. The fact that my voicemail tells you I am out of the office and gave a number to contact to get a hold of you, yet you felt obliged to leave me a voicemail, tells me you do not respect my time to be away and unplugged. I like you as a person, but if you solicit me personally again after I explain I don't make these decisions, I'm blocking your number and will never have a chance of working with our business again. Please stop contacting me about spending marketing dollars. Okay, John, what would John do? Do.
I think this gentleman gave you an emotional reaction. I think it was real, and I think you should respect his wishes. And whatever, did he ever give you the marketing person's name, or does he say he just passes it along?
He's passed it along to me.
Okay, do you have the marketing woman or man's name?
I do not.
Okay, so I would say, Brad, putting your long-term relationship with him aside, he could not be any more clear that he doesn't make the marketing decisions. He's tired of being the go-between, and he's giving you the don't call us, we'll call you. He's setting clear boundaries, and even though he reacted emotionally, and I wouldn't have reacted that way, but just because I wouldn't have done it doesn't mean anything, I think you should respect it and not contact him again, Brad.
Well, John, let me take it one step further. See, as a sales guy, and you don't do this kind of stuff. Okay, as a sales guy, I go in and I talk to people. I make appointments with people, call people on the phone, send them stuff. And matter of fact, sometimes even mail them stuff, John. I know that's not
I love that
in your thing, but I am also a consumer. I'm also a person that, I don't know why this happens, but a lot of people ask me for referrals, mainly because of the fact that they know I deal with a lot of businesses. They know that, that I have.
And you're saying, let me cut to the chase. You're saying that you might stop referring people to his particular service if he's going to be a jerk to you.
I will never refer them again. And I have referred people.
And that's your right, Brad. I understand that.
Right. But the point being is, what I find interesting about this is his thing says, do not respect my time to be away and unplug. Okay, if he's unplugged, why is he responding to me?
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, I get it, Brad. And I think that's the part of his response. If we wanted to parse his response, that I think he went a little bit overboard. But I could also see him wherever he is being so frustrated that he just has an emotional bloodletting, and you happen to be the towel that has to mop up the emotional bloodletting.
John.
And the only thing that here's a parallel that I would give, Brad. When I worked at Monsanto, I didn't control directly a lot of ad dollars. And I loved it because I would spend time with radio sales guys, and they would buy me drinks and food. And yet I could tell them, look, I don't make the final call on this stuff. So when they leaned on me, I didn't have a single guy that right away didn't understand, okay, John is not the guy on this account that makes the final call. So I'm going to stop nagging him, and I'm going to actually nag the decision maker. So it sounds like this gentleman is trying to tell you the same thing. Look, I don't allocate the marketing dollars, you know?
Well, I think probably to take this one step further, what probably bothers me about this whole situation is that his father would never treat me like this. Get what I'm saying?
Absolutely. I get it, Brad.
And I think the frustrating thing for me is that, you know, I don't care if you're what business you're in. I think there's a level of decorum, a level of common courtesy that you exude to everyone. Now, the interesting thing about this is John and I are different. That I talk to guys, I talk to homeless guys and gals that come up to me and panhandle me. I give them money. I come out of the schnooks sometimes. On several occasions, I've come out of the schnooks that I go to from time to time, and there's somebody there, money for food. I will give them a box of my Little Debbies. Now, if you know how much I treasure my Little Debbies, for me to give a whole box to somebody, that would be like John, you know, that would be like John giving
one of my women away.
Right, giving one of his women away. Here, you can take her. I'm done with her. No, but the point being is, and it's interesting. I know you're not a big fan of Gary Vee, but
I love Gary Vee.
Well,
man.
a couple years ago, he came out at the beginning of the year and he says, I have a New Year's resolution. My New Year's resolution is kindness. I'm going to be kind and courteous to everyone I work with, every person I come in contact with. And the situation for me is I will go back to a story that I don't know if I ever told in this station, but years ago, there was a guy by the name of Bruce Williams. You probably never heard of him in the radio business. John, you there?
What's his name? Bruce Wayne?
Bruce Williams. Okay? You've never heard
Bruce
of him.
Williams? No, I don't know him.
Okay. At one point in time, before Rush Limbaugh came around, Bruce Williams was the number one ranked national talk show in the country. And Bruce was an interesting guy. He'd been a business person, and I think he was a mayor, a mayor of a town. Hold on a minute. Let me clip my voice. He was a mayor in a town he lived in, and he got fascinated with the radio business. And one day, he literally showed up at the NBC headquarters in New York City, and decided he wanted to be on the radio. And he kept bugging this one particular program director, and finally, okay, we got a weekend show. You can do a weekend show on our local station. If you're any good, we'll put you on the network on the weekends. Okay, he got really good at it, and he got to the point where he had this nationally syndicated talk show. And one time, he talked about the fact that his boss was so nice to him that whatever he wanted, his boss got. And the reason for that was, once upon a time, his boss was his intern. His intern was a college kid, who came out of college and got a job at NBC and was interning at the NBC radio network. And he worked directly with Bruce. And Bruce was very nice to this guy. But the other people were terrible to him because he was just an intern. He's an intern. We don't treat him nice. You know, hey, intern, go get me some coffee. Go down the street, get me some bagels. You know, that kind of stuff, okay? And one day, Bruce said to him, how come you're so nice to me? And he said, when I was your intern, you were the only person here that treated me fairly. And he says,
wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, everybody else was a jerk to me. He says, I have remembered that my entire career, and you are the only one that was nice to me, and I appreciate that. And you looked upon me not as an intern, but as a person, and showed me kindness and respect. I will never forget that. Okay? See my point, John?
I get exactly what you're saying, yeah.
And to the point where when I go out, and you know what? I'm a very flawed person. I am a tremendously flawed person. But the one thing I do when I'm out in public, I go to the store, I'm always courteous to everybody.
You're nice to the checkout people. You're nice to the janitor. You're nice to everybody.
I compliment them because of the fact that, not that am I a great guy, I just think that's the base level how you treat people.
I agree, Brad. And so let's get back real quick. Let's put a bow on this, Brad. It sounds like your long-term friend whose dad you knew well, it sounds like he overreacted in the moment. He's sending you a clear message he doesn't want to hear from you. And even though he overreacted, you don't need to overreact. Like, you certainly don't need to respond to him. You don't need to do anything passive-aggressive. You can respect his wishes and move on. It's a shame he chose to disrespect you with that tone. But you are a bigger person than that, Brad. And you can respect his wishes and not contact him again.
But I did send him one of my videos.
Oh, no. Did you really?
Yeah, I'll send it to you, okay?
Oh, no. Okay.
John,
well,
say goodbye. Say goodbye, John.
See you on Monday.